What's going on? It's Justeeni here. Bardur is just a worse Hoodrick, right? Nobody cares about Bardur. I mean, I feel like that's kind of unfair to say, though. Just a worse Hoodrick is kind of not really the full story at all. And also, even if that is true, like, being a worse Hoodrick only means so much when Hoodrick is one of the best tribes in the game. But I feel like people keep sleeping on this tribe. It's not bad. It's actually quite good. I'm going to be showing you on tiny lakes. This is a strong suit for Hoodrick, but I'm going to show you Bardur can get it done. So let's just get right into things. So we start just getting some nice warrior spam, turn 0 upgrade, get the lighthouse, and I go org, upgrade, and one advantage with Bardur you might be able to see already, fishing pre-cap. And this is going to allow me to get really good explorers. The big thing is just versatility. Like, if I want really good explorers, I can get fishing or climbing early, meet the opponent, grab that lighthouse, and suddenly I am already set up for a giant. Yep, not only that, but there's more. There's more. You thought that was really good. So, you know, don't really need the best of resources. You get 2 animals on your capital, kind of like Hoodrick, actually exactly like Hoodrick. Turn 5 giant. And yeah, all I have is a bunch of tier 1 text, but that's really all you need sometimes. Perk of Fortune there. And yeah, you saw I bought Riding. Riding's going to be very useful here. Being able to adapt to what the map throws at you. Archery is okay. It's a nice starting tech. It's generally one of the best techs in the game, but it's not always the best. In this case, archery is not very good actually. Riding to reach around these villages more quickly, and fishing to get in the water, much better. And I've got Riding roads. I'm just stealing both cities. I'm going to be up 5-3, pretty insurmountable advantage just like that. I'll go ahead and cut to another match. All right, another one, another Bardur versus Hoodrick. And again, we're gonna see really just the versatility. I think people keep forgetting Bardur's a turn 0 tribe. They are very versatile. I go climbing this time, train a warrior because I want to funnel my explorer again. This is something that turn 0 tribes really in general can do, Bardur being no exception. Of course, the explorer goes the wrong way. But that's okay. That happens sometimes. I meet Hoodrick, go organization. And I'm going to be able to... Okay, that one goes the wrong way. But it does turn back and it does grab that lighthouse. Super important here. A little worried for a second, but it's okay. I'm going to be able to contest this ruin. They have the archers, but this choke point is a little unpleasant for them. They can only funnel so many archers in, but I can get a lot of archers on defense to kind of deal with things. They're going to be able to get this village, though, but I might be able to get this one back here, even up the village count. They get some port connections to get their giant going first. I still have one more turn to get mine, but I'm going to be able to get it without a monument on my capital, and that will be pretty relevant. Kind of fighting for this ruin. Looks like they're actually winning. They do a little bit of a weird sequence there. I think that was a misplay. I think they should have actually been able to win the ruin if they killed the warrior there with the vet sword. But I'm able to get a bunch of archers, and this is going to help defend this ruin because I want it for myself. And yeah, if they moved the vet sword there, they would have been able to get it, but instead, I go there. I also step on the village at the same time. Now this, I'm not entirely sure if this was the right play. My idea was that, well, if I don't step on the village, they're just getting the village anyway. And then, yeah, I want to distract their units though, you know, force this, and then I get the ruin for myself. That was my plan. Like, just give them the village, but distract their units at least. If I'm not moving the warrior and just keeping it there, their units aren't distracted. So I'm going to do that. Park of Fortune here. I'm actually up in giants, and I have archers. I'm literally just playing Hoodrick right now, except I have climbing mining, which is actually something that Hoodrick cannot do. So, yeah, I don't have forestry, but I don't need forestry. Climbing mining. And just that choice with what you can do. We see math from Hoodrick. Catapults make a lot of sense with the choke points, but I have my own plans here. You know, gonna snag the ruin, force a response. They move the giant back, potentially going on this port to send it elsewhere, but I'm able to siege. The math does actually check out. It's pretty close, but it does check out. So I'm able to take the city now. Lots of chops. And they have these 2 extra cities that they got. So I'm down 2 cities, but they're both level 1. Is that even like an advantage at that point? I don't really think it is. Take out that archer, step on the ruin. They cannot stop me this time. Now I go riding roads, and this is going to be really nice with these archers. And again, just no need for forestry here. Just don't need it. I mean, part of that's because Bardur's force rate is pretty garbage. It should probably be increased, but, you know, don't need forestry. It's fine. Now, with the riding roads plus the archers, it's just going to be too much. The catapults are not going to stand a chance. Juggernaut's not going to stand a chance either. I basically just have everything I need. Resource rune is really nice. Fighting over this rune was worth it. If the opponent had a resource rune, that would be super, super clutch for them. But no, I'm the one that gets it instead. Connect some cities. Start causing problems. Get this upgrade. And I have another giant. Goes for the siege. And I did actually misplay here. They had a chance to get back in the game. I forgot to harvest this animal. This is actually, well, it would have been important. But they got a little scared and they didn't harvest it. They might have assumed that I had fishing and could just port plus gate of power plus mine. I actually cannot do that. It's too expensive. They didn't know that, so it makes sense. But I still should have harvested just in case they did get that hard read on me. Because I had the 2 extra stars, you know, why not? Instead, just goes like this. I don't think there was a way to manipulate the push direction to have the giant not push there. I wanted it to push right here. That would have been really nice. Not the case here. Luckily, doesn't matter too much. I'm going to be able to PP away the giant, and if they resiege, then I'm just good to go. They don't resiege because they don't want their giant to die. They just want to kill mine for free. They gate a power there, but I'm going strategy, ready to go Diplo, and that should be more than enough to win here. Like, I could consider like chivalry as well, but with the choke point, I kind of prefer diplomacy, especially since they have 2 high-level cities. So yeah, they eventually resign, but I do have 1 more game to show, so I will go ahead and cut to that. All right, so I could just leave it at those 2 replays and be like, wow, see how much better Bardur is than Hoodrick or something like that. But, you know, I feel like that's a little dishonest. That's not the full story. There are cases where Hoodrick does do better. And this is a pretty interesting case because one thing with Bardur is quite a bit harder to play than Hoodrick, in my opinion. You have to be very precise with the options that you have. So I go fishing here, but you kind of see what I mean. So yeah, I funneled the Explorer for next turn. That's why I don't get it right now. Of course, the Explorer does not care, and it hates me, and I actually get the worst case. I at least meet Hoodrick, so it still really sucks though. Now I go riding, and my idea with riding here is I know that Hoodrick is going to have a 3rd city here, pretty much guaranteed. I want to stop them from getting that, so I'm going to go riding in roads. Makes sense because I had a game where I was able to do that and it worked, but they just go in the water. And I'm able to road, very aggressive, but they're just in the water. And you can kind of see this big lake in the middle. Mayhaps water will be important. And it might be smart to invest in naval. If I had, well, I already had fishing actually. If I had just placed 2 ports, then yeah, like I placed my ports now, but it's a little slow. In fact, it's too slow here. And this is the thing is, I have that ability to be versatile, you know, with Bardur, but I kind of misused it. I went for riding roads, and riding roads is useless here. Just full stop. It's just not in any way useful here. So it's one thing you have to be very careful of, you know, make sure you're actually using that strength, because sometimes if it's misused, it's almost a weakness. You have all these tempting options. If you don't know which one to pick, then you just end up losing, like in this case. Now, if I had played it correctly, it's not exactly a free win either. This is like, even if I'm really commit to the whole like fishing, probably ramming, maybe strategy with organization because I have a lot of fruit, it's not exactly a free win. Hoodrick's archery actually is pretty nice here to stop me from getting naval dominance. They didn't even have to resort to that. In fact, here they just take my capital. That's kind of that. And they also managed to get Eye of God, and I didn't. Kind of a lot of things, like this wasn't great for me in general. But it looks like Hoodrick went very chop heavy, so Hoodrick showing a little bit of their versatility as well. With this more naval-centric game. But still, as strong as Bardur is, I don't think they are actually better than Hoodrick, but I think they are still an underrated tribe nonetheless. I'd highly recommend giving them a go. They're, again, a very difficult tribe to play, so there is that to be forewarned about. But I think they have a lot of potential. I think they're like pretty close to Hoodrick. I mean, like tiny maps, and even like outside of tiny maps, Bardur is pretty underrated, just really hard to use properly. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.